please put your hands together for Giles Hutchins.
Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, flowing throughout nature. For the ancient Greeks, the ultimate goal of philosophy was to attune with this inherent grammar they found within nature. The word philosophy coming from philia, to love, and Sophia, wisdom. To love, embody, and embrace the very wisdom found within nature. And over time, in the West, we have tended towards a philosophy of rationalism and a science of materialism, characterized by our left brains grasping things, extracting them out of their lived-in context, defining them, putting a hard line boundary around them so that we can categorize, manipulate, and exploit the world around us. And that's an important part of what makes us human. It's designed this technosphere here, for instance. It can become a problem if it starts to dominate our relationship with reality, infecting the way in which we engage with the world. It can lead to what Albert Einstein calls an optical illusion of consciousness, which can fast become a devastating delusion. This illusion of separation is really castrating us from nature. And with it comes deep psychic atrophy. All sorts of problems set in. Anxiety, fear, egotism, individualism. But there's good news. The good news is this very way of attending, this narrowing down, fragmenting view of reality, is piercing its own illusion. It's as if we've got caught up in our own self-reflexivity, our own hall of mirrors, and we're recognizing a deeper reality beyond. Whether it be the disciplines of neuroscience, quantum physics, ecology, psychology, these disciplines are now piercing, seeing a deeper reality beyond. It's an exciting time to be alive. I'll give you some examples just to bring it alive. Let's take a tree. Let's take an oak tree in an English forest. Using our old neo-Darwinian logic, at best the oak tree would be only interested in its genetic offspring, say the acorn. Now, with our radioactive tracing and so forth, our scientific explorations, we understand that something quite different is happening. The tree is actually sharing nutrients with a holly sapling in a completely different part of the forest, a different genetic structure, different part of the forest. Areas rich in minerals are sharing with areas poor in minerals. We struggle to understand what's going on. Yet with our left brains, we come up with things like systems thinking, interconnectedness, which go a long way beyond seeing the world through that separateness. Take our own human bodies, you and me. 90% of the cells in our bodies are not even human. Without the help of these non-human cells, we would utterly fail at life. And then each of these cells, rather than having a hard line boundary around them, actually everything we find in nature is semi-permeable, is breathing in and out all the time. Even the genes within the cell are not these units of selfish ascendancy. They are continuously learning with their environment. And then we dive even further down to the quantum level. Rather than hard, massy, impenetrable objects of Newtonian physics, we have quark strings, vibrations, humming away with light. It's amazing. At the most fundamental level, we find energy birthed from within an all-pervasive presence, what the quantum scientists call the quantum vacuum. So what's this got to do with you and me in this room? Dealing with our sustainable futures and trying to make change happen. Well, if I may be so bold, I'm going to talk about love. It's not a word you hear much of in business circles these days, and often it's sort of misplaced or misunderstood. And the Greeks had many different words for love to describe the different qualities and ebbs and flows of love within life. And I'll activate just 3 here: agapeia, eros, and philia. So agapeia is this all-pervasiveness, this divine ground of our very being that's permeating throughout reality, throughout nature. To attune with it is to find Sophia, unconditional love flowing through life. And as Anne Baring says here, we can create a sanctuary for that within our hearts and open up to it through contemplative practices or being in the zone, presencing life. It's here, in this very moment.
Nice.
Eckhart Tolle calls it the power of now. And then that can flow through what we do. So with eros, we realize our creative potential, our desire, our passion for life. And that eros flows with that agapeia, receptive presence, feeding that energetic responsiveness, the energy spawned from within that spaciousness. And then we relate to the world around us with philia. That's where the word biophilia comes from, to love life. We relate with nature and our neighbors through that love. We love thy neighbor as thyself. That starts being manifested through that love. Receptivity, responsiveness, and reciprocation, mutually beneficial relationships flowing with love. Yet in modern Western society, our path seems to have come very far from that. We've come ungrounded from love at the most fundamental level. Instead of our eros flowing with that agapeia, it becomes lusting. We get caught up in our own self-reflexivity, our own egotism, our own abstraction from the very ground of being. We lust. We're not flowing with that love. And so we grasp. Our way of attending is having, wanting, owning, consuming. Enter the contagion of consumerism in our midst. And then the way that we relate to neighbor and to nature is broken down, no longer flowing with that love. The reciprocity turns into competitiveness. We dominate or we become dominated. We see the world through threat-tinted glasses. That is the competitive edge underlying the capitalistic logic. So people will often have discussions and say to me, we've got to deal with capitalism. It's the mother of all problems. We've got to deal with consumerism. We've got to deal with the money system. These are the mother of all problems. Well, yes, they are important things that definitely need to be transformed, and they're ripe for transformation, most certainly. Yet they are downstream ramifications of a deeper underlying cause. And if we run the risk of applying the same logic to our potential solutions that created the problems in the first place, we run out of time, and time isn't on our side. We've burnt all that. Contingency's gone. So we do need to get most radical and deal with the fundamental issue. So what has this got to do with leadership? Natural leadership. Well, the word leadership originates from the Old English word leith, which means to cross the threshold, to die and be reborn, to let go of old ways and embrace the new, what Carolina was talking about, this self-releasing, so we can open ourselves up to this ground of being, to this inherent love. That's what each moment, each evolving moment in life offers us the chance to do. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And so whether we are accountants or activists, engineers or entrepreneurs, musicians or midwives, these times are asking us to birth a new consciousness for now and all time. Thank you.